Today we're talking about product photography, more important, some bourbon. Let's get drinking. I'm shooting. Let's go.
You see, the hustle that keeps the lights on isn't the same one that grows the empire. You have to have that craving for more. So stop listening to the chatter and focus on reaching for greatness. And no matter what, keep making bangers. I am Josh Russell.
If you go way back in some of my old videos, you're gonna see some product photography. I love shooting product photography. It's a lot of fun for me to create sets and scenes, and that's what I wanna do in this video, but I'm also going to take it and I'm going to elevate it. And the way that I'm gonna elevate it is by using one of my brand new partners that I'm with, and that is the Smoke Ninja. Now, I want to show you how to use the Hazer kit and create some really cool stuff. And I'm sure you saw it on the thumbnail, but that's what we're photographing. And what I want to do is I want to build this entire set out for you as we go. But first things first, I would really appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, all of that stuff, because that really does help me get seen by more people. So thank you so much. And also on top of that, links for everything that I'm using in this is going to be down in the description down below. So if you want to buy some of the stuff, use that. Okay, so the first thing that I want to walk you through is my lighting. I'm going to use an FJ400, Westcott FJ400 on each side, and I have a 1x5 strip box on each side. And the reason that I'm going to use a strip box on each side is because strip box gives nice even lighting, very tall. So you don't have to worry about having a big like 8-foot umbrella on each side. It's a very nice directional on each side lighting. I do have it placed a little bit in the back, but that is so that it actually creates more of like a rim on everything. And because we're using a lot of glass, if we were to put it up front, the glass would just have reflections and it would just look terrible. So by doing this rim lighting setup, it's going to allow us to really capture what we want. Now you're also probably seeing the backdrop that I'm using. The backdrop that I'm using is actually a TV. And what I did is I actually went and I created an old whiskey barrel room with AI. And then I just put it on the backdrop of my computer, linked it into that TV, and we have ourselves a backdrop. So I do this all the time when I'm shooting stuff like this, where I go in and I create my own backdrop and then add it in like this with a TV. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through. This is gonna be a little bit longer of a video because I'm going to show you step by step how I do everything and what it looks like. So I'm gonna get over, I'm gonna get my computer set and ready to go. Now, before we go into that, what I wanna do is I wanna talk to you about some of the things that I picked up for this shoot. I stopped at a few places, and overall, not including the bourbon itself, I have about $45 stuck into this whole shoot that I'm gonna show you. Not including the camera or the Smoke Ninja or any of that stuff. I'm talking about actual props on what I'm using. So the first place that I stopped was Michael's, because I found out Michael's actually has clear ice cubes that often most of the times you use in like flowers and pottery and stuff like that to kind of fill vases, but they work perfect for this. So I went and I picked up a case. They were $9. They're little like 1-inch by 1-inch cubes, and they work absolutely perfect for what I want to do with them. While I was there, I actually picked up some other ones that look like more broken up ice cubes, and then I bought a couple other things while I was there too. The next stop that I made was over to Hobby Lobby because I wanted to get some Spanish moss. Spanish moss is a great filler when you're adding it into stuff and kind of just filling blank space. I've been using it for a long time on a lot of different ideas and reasons. So Spanish moss, and to my surprise, Spanish moss was on sale. I got it for $1.62 a bag. So I couldn't beat it. I grabbed both bags and hightailed it out of there. From there, I actually stopped over to the grocery store. I stopped at Festival Foods and I bought an orange because I wanted to make sure that I had some type of garnish for the drink. So I grabbed an orange, also grabbed some sugar cubes, which I'm going to use kind of as some filler in the area, and then made my way out of there. From there, my last stop was Dollar Tree. Now, if you don't have a Dollar Tree in your area, go to Five Below or Dollar General or Family Dollar or whatever's in your area. Any of those like cheap stores. I love using those to find props, to find filler and stuff for my videos. What I did is I grabbed some rope, which is another filler, and then a couple other things for some other shoots. Then I grabbed a knife, a peeler and a cutting board. That way I could cut my orange up and not slice my fingers off. I'm all set with that. And the last thing that I'm going to use in this is a smoking whiskey kit. That might sound a little weird. Basically what it is to make smoked old fashions. So I just want to add that in. Now, if you have like a cigar and a glass ashtray or something like that, you could fill in here too if you don't have one of these torches and kits. But by using this, and I'll actually leave a link in the description down below to the one that I use. So what that's going to do is, because it's a smoked old fashioned or smoked whiskey, it's going to give me a point to use that Smoke Ninja where it makes sense. Like, why would there be smoke coming? Because I'm making smoked old fashions. So let's go ahead and let's start setting this up. Like I said, I'm going to get my laptop recording. That way you can see what's going on. I'm using Evoto AI to tether. That way you can see everything that's going on as I'm shooting it. I'll make it live down here somewhere. And then I'm just going to start filling in and making everything work. So we'll just take one photo at a time until we have our final banger image. And then I'll show you how to edit it. So let's get into this. So the first photo that we're going to take is actually going to be the one with nothing set up. There's going to be nothing here. That way we can just see what we're doing and what it looks like. So I just have my backdrop set up, and now as you can see, I have it set up kind of dark because I want to make sure that that background doesn't really come through too much. I just want it to kind of live there in the background. So from there, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to add in my wood here. So the first one's going to go here. Second one is going to go right about here, and we will go ahead and place those where we want them. We'll go ahead and take another shot. We'll see how this looks. And now you can see that we're starting to build already. We're already starting to look good. It's already starting to add some depth and add some lighting. So like I said, I didn't want the background too bright because I knew that there's a lot of wood, a lot of glass, a lot of stuff like that, but I'm adding in a lot of lighting. That I'm filling in a lot of reflecting type surfaces. So I want to make sure that I don't do anything that causes too much harm here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in my whiskey bottles, which are going to be on the left-hand side of the photo. So I have my favorite whiskey of all times, Peg Leg Porker Bourbon, and this is based out of Nashville, small batch. If you're ever in Nashville, absolutely check them out because it is amazing stuff. Now I need to see where I'm at here as far as getting everything in shot, and let's see how that looks. So we're getting there. I'm going to move this up just a little. Get my placement on my camera here, and we'll see from there that we are getting a little bit of our bottle. We're losing a little bit of our bottle there. So let's go ahead and bring that up. Now, I would highly suggest using a remote, which I'm going to do here in a minute, to use a trigger. That way things aren't moving around and aren't bumping. Get your camera set where you want it to, and then use the trigger from there. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. So I'm going to go ahead and see how this looks. So we are getting there. We are shooting at f10, 1/200, ISO 400. Now, I don't like where this is, so we're going to move this over. Take another one. Getting there, looking better. Like the placement a little bit better there. Makes a little bit more sense. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in my rope. And I want to kind of just make it kind of live over here on this edge. So I'm just kind of placing it, and it's just running across the front of these bottles, across the wood, stuff like that. And just placing it right about there. And we'll take another photo. We'll see how this looks. Yeah, I like how that looks. I'm just going to bring it down just a little because I don't want this loop here. So I'm going to bring it a little bit more out of frame. Bring that down. Try again. I still see a little bit of a loop there. So let's try to fix this here. Bring that down like that. There we go. It's all just micro movements and micro adjustments until you get that shot that you're looking for. That angle, all of that. So there we go. Okay, so now from there, what I want to do is I want to touch up this left-hand side, and I do notice that my bottles are leaning ever so slightly. So let's straighten that up too. Let's see how that looks. There we go. They look straighter now. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit more to this left-hand side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the Spanish moss here and just kind of fill it in. I don't want it to like be like all crazy. I just want it to fill a little bit of the corner. So now we have some green that is kind of stirring up that area, which I like a lot. And I'm going to fix this cork just a little bit more. This cork is bugging me. Let's go ahead and do that with it. There we go. Much better. Okay. From there, what we're going to do now is we're going to actually add in our... You can spread these apart just a little. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in our first glass, which is going to be in the back. And it's going to be one of those little bourbon drinking glasses. Shout out to Grainworks in Neenah if you've never been to Grainworks. Great place. We're going to put that right about here. I'm not going to fill anything up with bourbon yet because I want to see where everything lives before I go ahead and fill stuff up with bourbon. And that looks absolutely perfect on how I want it to look. Okay, so from there, I feel like I can go ahead and add bourbon. So hold on. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and add some bourbon in here, and I'm going to use the cheap stuff with this. There we go. It looks about good for that. We'll come back here and we'll go ahead and test again to see how that's going to react. Perfect. So now the thing is when you're doing this, you want to be very careful that you don't get drops on stuff or any sort of like spillage or anything. You want to be real precise with everything you're doing here. And you'll see me as I'm going, I'm always cleaning and I'm always moving stuff, especially if I feel like it's not supposed to be there. Okay, so we are at our place where we want to add in our next element, and that is going to be our actual cup. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these ice cubes in. These are not real ice cubes. These are completely fake. But when you add them in there, they look real. So before I add any bourbon, I'm going to get my placement down, find out where this wants to live. Should be right about there. Let's get that logo out front and center. And we'll go ahead and take that photo. One more, that way we know we're focused on our glass. And I think that looks absolutely fantastic, except for the fact that I want to turn these because I want this ice cube over on this side. There. Let's try that now. Okay, so this bourbon here needs to come over a little bit. It's living too close to the other one. Might have been too far now. Let's go back just a little. And that's what this is also really important, is just micro adjustments. You're just doing a ton of micro adjustments and getting things where you want it until you feel it's in the right spot, which I'm getting there. Now the downside is I don't know if I have enough bourbon to get this glass full. So I may... Not too shabby. It's like I planned it. So now let's go ahead and take that photo again. See how our bourbon reacts in that glass. Now we are losing our logo a little bit. So we need to remember that we might need to put some sort of front light or reflector on the front to get some lighting back in there. We will make adjustments for that at the very end. Let's go ahead and continue building our set for now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add this orange in. And I want to make sure that orange peel is placed more towards the back. I don't want it to be like straight up in your face. Okay, next we're going to add in some sugar cubes. I have 3 sugar cubes here, and we're just going to place them right here on the corner. Go ahead and take that picture. All of this is very simple to continue adding in because you've already got your placement of most of the stuff. You just kind of have to fill it all in now. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our wood chips. And I have my little smoking kit here, and I'm going to go ahead and place the part that you covered of the snuffer under it to kind of prop it up so I can see what's going on in there. I also have the can with the rest of it, the extra, that I'm going to put on the table too. So we just want to make sure that nothing is covering up our logo here. From there, we'll go ahead and take this picture. And as you'll see now we're filling everything in. I want to go ahead and I want to add a little bit more Spanish moss in here. Now it's probably barely even going to be seen in the photo, but I'm just framing. Just framing it in here. Just getting a little bit more color. Too much, or I should say not the right angle. So let's go ahead and let's try to fix that by just bringing it down the edge here. There we go. That's going to look much better. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that this looks like it's burning. I'm going to take the torch that comes with the smoking kit, and I'm just going to kind of char the top of these wood chips. Just enough to get them looking real. That smells so good too. So now what I'm doing is I'm watching the way that this smoke is burning, because I might end up using that same look when I add in my Smoke Ninja. But go ahead and smoke that. I put the smoking torch in there, the torch, and now we have this photo right here. Those are a little close to each other, so I'm just going to take this peach chips there, add a little bit of separation, and there we go. Wow, what a great photo already. Like, that just looks incredible. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to take and add in a reflector. I'm going to go ahead and grab my reflector. I'll be right back. So now that the staging is done, I'm going to address that problem where I can't see the light that much on the front of the glass. And I'm going to do that with a 40-inch reflector. This is a Westcott Basics 40-inch reflector. And I'm just going to make it live right here by the camera, just enough where that light hits and reflects in. But we need to watch and make sure that we're not doing too much. And there you can see what it's doing is it's just filling it a little bit. That's all I needed to do, is just kind of fill in that foreground. Now we have a nice looking photo. So we've got our photo now. We could go ahead and send that out. That is an incredible product photo. But what I want to do is I want to take it a little bit further with the Smoke Ninja and create some ambiance around the bottles coming out of the smoker thingy, and do that. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Smoke Ninja. Now this is the hazer kit. I have the hazer attachment on it and the dry ice feature turned on. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow it to just kind of seep some fog out. And this thing is absolutely incredible. Link is in the description down below. I highly suggest you to check out all of their videos, because this thing is a game changer when it comes to stuff like this. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. I'm going to come in here. Now I'm going to probably be opposite side of what I probably would do this on. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here and I'm going to hit some dry ice back here. And you'll see it kind of just filling in. And I'll show some other clips too, but we're just going to fill it in just a little. And we want to move kind of slow because we don't want it to do too much. We'll add a little smoke there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit this and then pull it up. Try again. We will go ahead, hit this, pull it straight up and take the picture. Okay, we'll see what it looks like. Look at that. I want to try to keep it from billowing up here. I don't want it too much up here. So we'll go ahead and hit a little bit more dry ice down here. Just a tad in here. And then we'll go ahead and hit this. And that is a absolute banger of a photo right there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in up here too. And then what I can do is I can actually stack some of these if I want to, because I like a little bit of smoke down here at the bottom too. So let's go ahead and add a little bit in here at the bottom. We'll just add a couple. We'll just take a couple, get some different stuff here. That way we got some things to play around with. We'll add a little bit in here. Why not? Look at that. So cool. So let's go ahead, get a little bit here, and then a little bit here. Do it again. I moved this just a little, so let's slide it back. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is so cool. I absolutely love this thing. It's so much fun. And what we'll do now is we'll actually go over and I'll show you how I'm going to edit this photo and just make an absolute banger out of stacking all these and doing all of that fun stuff. So let's go edit right now. So we are in my studio. So we got all of our shots, and there's actually 5 photos in total that I'm going to be using. And what we'll do is we'll just clean these up and we're going to blend them together now to make the perfect smoky looking photo. So the best way to do that is we're going to basically just start on one, continue on until we feel like it is at a good place. So that is pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start working on this first one. And now the cool thing is once I get my settings down where I want them in this photo, I will be able to sync them. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to change these settings to where I want them and how I want them. A little bit warmer. Right about there. Bring down the dehaze just a little, or bring up the dehaze just a little. Bring the clarity up just a little. And that's pretty much where I want that photo to be. So now what I can do is I can select this one, select my other 5, and hit sync. And we will go ahead and sync them. Basic. And let's go ahead and synchronize those. So now all of them have the same look to them. All the same color, the same contrast, all of that. So what we're going to do from there is we're actually going to take them and select those 5. And I actually forgot one. I forgot to do this one. So there's actually 6 files. So let's go ahead and sync that one then. Get that one to match up. So now all 6 files look the same. 1 through 6. We're going to right click. We're going to edit in. And we're going to go ahead and edit in Photoshop as layers, or open as layers in Photoshop. It'll be the bottom one. Go ahead and we'll click that. We're going to go ahead and open anyway. And we'll go ahead and let that open, and then we'll go over to Photoshop and I'll show you the next step. Okay, we're over in Photoshop. Now, I don't want to take a ton of time because of loading, so I'm just going to make this smaller just for demonstration purposes. But I'm going to go ahead and resize it. You don't need to resize it. I'm just resizing it because I don't want to be working on a massive photo and it take forever while I'm trying to teach you. All right, so that's a good size right there. Now, what we need to do from there is we need to, because some of these are going to be off center, I'm going to go ahead and select all of my layers here in the layer panel. I'm going to go edit, and I'm going to go auto align layers. Go ahead and hit the OK button. We'll leave it in auto. It will take just a minute. Now, because I was on a tripod, everything should be pretty quick and simple, and it was, so we don't need to worry too much about it. But if you're hand holding it, sometimes it can get a little all over the place, so you need to auto align those. Now, this one looks great. Now, what we need to do from there is we need to start thinking about what we want for each one of our masks. Now, with this one, I really like this side over here. I mean, honestly, I like all the way up to there. So we'll just keep that in mind, and we're just going to go through. With this one, I like the smokiness down here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and drag that up to here. What we'll do then from there is once we got it on the top layer, we've moved it, we're going to hit the mask button. We're going to hold an option. and it's going to make everything dark. Now, from there, we'll go ahead and grab our brush, make sure we have white, and we're going to start painting in where we want that smoke to be. So this section right here, I want to use. So there we go. Now let's go ahead and drag this one up higher and see if we want to use anything from here. Not really. I don't really like much of that. So we'll go ahead and bring that back down. Grab this one, bring it up. See what this one's doing. I could probably use a little bit of this. Actually, yes, I do want to use this because I like the smoke in here. So let's go ahead and we'll do the same thing. It's on our top layer. And we'll just go ahead and label this. Let's say left side smoke. And then we'll go little glass smoke. Hold an option, mask. We're going to make sure we got our white brush here. We're going to go ahead and start masking this in. So then we just brought that stuff in right there. And I actually like the way that this is coming over the lip right here. So I'm going to go back in, grab the black tool, or the black brush, bring that back in, like that. Perfect. So let's grab our bottom layer here now, see what this one does. Which I don't... Oh, it's going to be this area right here, which we'll probably end up using. So let's go ahead and name that wood chips smoke. We'll go ahead and we will option, mask, grab our white brush, and start filling this in. And there we go. So all of our layers are done now. That all looks really good. This is how I wanted it to look. I think it looks fantastic. So from there, now what we need to do is we need to work on the blemishes. Like there's a lot of blemishes in here. There's some stuff around the edges that I want to get rid of. So let's go ahead and we'll go Command Option Shift E on the top layer. What that's going to do is it's going to make a new layer of everything that was underneath it. From there, we're going to grab our crop tool because we want to straighten this up just a little. Let's get those bottles nice and aligned. Bring it out just a little. Let's add some breathing room here. And from there, we're going to go up here. We'll go Fill, Generative Expand. And what that's going to do then is it's going to take all of this checker area and expand the photo with generative fill. So let's go ahead. I'll come back as soon as it's done. So our photo's done. It is expanded. It looks fantastic. It did exactly what I wanted it to do, and we're good to go. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and layer that, or lower that layer, blend it in, combine it, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go in here, and we're going to zoom in, and we're going to start touching up blemishes. So I would just grab my magic band-aid tool here. We're going to go in and we're going to just start hitting these spots that we want to get rid of. So we want these bottles to look about as pristine as they can. So we'll just come in here and get rid of all these weird spots and stuff just from it being a bottle. And we'll just continue on getting these spots. While I have your attention and while we're doing this, let me tell you, I'm sure you don't know, but 94% of the views on my channel are non-subscribers. The way that I get seen by more people is by subscriber count and views and reactions. So if you could do me a favor and just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, the bell, all of that, whatever you want, whatever you feel is useful to you, that would be super helpful to me. Because the more subscribers, the more views, and it actually is not the subscribers as much as it is the views and the reactions and the shares and those things. But the people that book me to do sponsored videos and branded videos, they look at subscriber count still. Even though that it's not as important as it used to be, they still do. So if you could go ahead and do me a huge solid and hit that subscribe button, that would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so we're getting to a good spot here. Just touching up all of these areas that there are blemishes from it being used and transported and whatever it may be. Now, if you're doing this for an actual commercial shoot, take your time. But with me just trying to get this set for the video, I'm going a little faster than I typically would. Whoops. Just touching up all the areas that don't need to be there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this logo here. Just going around the photo, seeing what's going on, seeing what's living places. This doesn't make any sense to be in there. This reflection can go, this can go. All these little spots down here. Get rid of all those. Put some little dust specks there. Ooh, we got our orange messed up right here. Look at this. Let's see if this will fix it. I just need to touch up this edge here. There we go. Can we round it a little bit more? Alright, good enough. Yep, looks good. Okay, so from that, I feel like we're at a pretty good spot. Can I touch this log up right here? Let's just see what that does. There we go. Looks a little better. So we're looking a lot better. I would pretty much call this a done photo. What I will do is I'll go ahead, go into adjustments, go color lookup, and add my color lookup just to give it that Josh Russell look. There we go. But I want to go ahead and delete this mask. I'm going to curves. We'll hit this down arrow right here, the square with the down, because then it's only going to affect the color lookup. Go it down, bring this up. There we go. And then I need to go ahead and lower the opacity of the color lookup itself. And there we go. So let's go over into Lightroom now, and I want to do the finishing touches to it. So let's go ahead and we'll hit Command S and then take it over into Lightroom. We are over in Lightroom with our touched up photo. I just want to try to see if I can get some of this to show up a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a mask and I'm going to go Object, and I'm going to color in this area right here and see if I can get this area to kind of lighten up. Okay, so let's zoom in just a little so we can see what we're doing. Shadows up. Let's bring that up just a little. So now we can actually read what it says a little bit more. There we go. Let's go ahead and try to do the same with this one back here. Now there's nothing written on it. I just want to kind of make the bourbon a little bit lighter. We'll go ahead and bring the shadows up and the exposure up. Get it a little bit lighter. And let's go ahead and add one more object. We'll color in this bottle over here. Bring the shadows up. Bring the exposure up just a little to kind of match the one next to it. And there we go. That's a final image right there. So we have created an amazing product photo using the Smoke Ninja and just adding in some props and filling in the photo. I am absolutely in love with this photo. I think it turned out exactly how I wanted it to. There is really nothing that I would change about it. And I feel like it's a banger. We created a banger, y'all. And it looks really, really good. Thank you for watching this video. I know it was kind of long and drawn out and a lot of stuff going on. If you need to go back and watch it, please feel free to go back and watch it. Otherwise, if you want to check this video out right here, I think it might help you out as well. So maybe consider going and checking it out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.